G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru. Welcome to my video. Today I want to paint something from Dave Hoffler. I want a big shout out to Dave Hoffler. It's going to be a landscape scene. The size is on the canvas there, and I will also get some colours going up the screen for those people who like to use the same colour as me. Now, a while ago I did a colour chart, how to make a colour chart. I'm going to leave the link in the description below for the video about this, because in this video it's going to come in handy again, and quite a lot of nature scenes you can make one of these and it'll come in handy. I'm going to show you the picture so I can get the sky colours right, because I forget how I would mix that. My brain ain't a computer. All right, so I'll bring you over here and we'll get right into it. Okay, so here's the sky. We've got the sky coming over here and it's sort of coming brown with the haze behind this row of trees here. So in my reference colour referencing chart, I've pretty much made those colours, which is here. And I know how to work it out. So I've got PA and YO, which is permanent alizarin, and my yellow ochre. I got this colour. Now see there, I plus W, I added white, or I plus B, I added black to get that value. So I'm going to mix those two to get that and get this. So these two colours here are pretty much what I can probably get out here. I've got me colour chart. I want to get those colours mixed onto the palette here. So before I put my craft white on, I'm going to get some permanent alizarin down here and some of my yellow ochre. Okay, and I will get a brush. I want to mix it with a flat brush. I'll mix it into this pot. I'll grab a bunch of that and I'll start mixing until I'm happy with the value that I'm after. So I've got my colour chart. I know what colour I'm going for the sky, which is there. Because it's obviously in the photo that the Dave Hoffler taken, it's obviously in the dusk time. Got that mixed. Now on the palette here, I'm simply going to start me painting off with my U-Butte craft white and some retarder, so as I can get some colours mixing. I'll simply grab my putter on a brush, mix those two together and prime up the sky area of my canvas. So I'm going to paint the sky area just straight across here with this craft white and retarder. And in the picture there's a big tree there, so I don't want to paint where the tree's going. I want to bring this down here into the sky area, just so as we can blend those colours that we've mixed. Now I don't like this conditioned paint underneath where I'm going to do detailing, because it can lift and give you some grief. I've mentioned that in all videos, but I'd like to keep mentioning it. Now I'll stroke that left and right.
Like a pure gentleman, Ian.
That's it, little buddy, like a pure gentleman. Now I'm going to pick up that colour on my putter on a brush. Let's hope there's enough there. Now looking at the reference, it's probably about here, so I'm going to crisscross it into here, just getting it over me conditioned area. Beautiful. It's a weirdly tanned sky. It's going to be a bit purpley over there for some reason. That's the way it is in the reference picture. Now I'm going to go to the tip of this brush and stroke it left and right again, just so I can get all those brush strokes out of it. And we've got a nice lighter value here and a bit darker there. Now I've just wiped that brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit of red violet, so I can kind of get that vibe in the corner here, which is what's in the actual photo. And I just want to start from the corner and then gingerly bring that into that sky colour like so, and then cross it through like that. Just you're blending this to that sky colour, so just keep going until you're happy with it. Everyone works different. I'll pull that through like so, because this brush did all that work. Now I've got some titanium white, and I'm just going to put a glare behind where the first row of trees are going to go with this sort of like cloud behaviour, which those trees are going to come up here. So I want something here, just, you know how I do my mongoose grass? I'm kind of doing that, but in a way so I can blend out a bit of glare there. I'm fingering it out like this kind of behaviour as I'm stamping it on with my fan brush. There we go. And now I just want to simply grab a blending brush and also your kitchen towel or cloth to wipe it as you blend. Start from down here, start from down there, and I'm tapping it, twisting it, on and off, twisting it like that. Getting that done. And now I want to start coming from those fingery bits and glaring that out into that lovely sky colour we've got going there. So there we go. Now, see the edge here? I can sort of see, I want to kind of keep going until I can distort that and turn it into something good, more artistically pleasing to the eye.
It's a lot of practice, isn't it, Ian? You do a lot of practicing to get procedures like that.
Yeah, it's all about practice, little buddy. There we go. That's going to show when we put the trees there. Okay, I'm just wetting my filbert brush and I've got some burnt umber and this yellow ochre. So I want to grab that over here and I want to get the value. So I'm going to mix up the burnt umber with it gradually till it's the value that I want. I'm following the colour pattern within the reference photo. I can change the shape of the trees, but I need the colour value to be the same to suit the sky, to suit every other subject that's going to be in there. So looking at the reference, these are going to come up there, okay, and probably are down to about this level here and about there. So that's all I need to do. And I want to start just dipping them into the sky, going over that white bit, not too below here. Always condition your brush when you're loading it.
What do you mean condition your brush, Ian? What does that mean?
Like when I'm picking up the paint, I'm not just picking it up and going for it, I'm conditioning the brush, I'm swiping it left and right because I want the brush chiselled, like that.
Righto, Ian, righto.
I'm just getting the tops done first, then I'll block in the base area. I'm going to come down here. I'm sort of following a little bit of the reference because I like the way there's a bit of a gap, then all of a sudden a big piece starts jutting out here. I like it, it's real, it looks arty. And I think the photographer was able to capture these shapes within his photo to create the photo he was looking for. There we go, we're going to come down there. Blocking it in so you don't get a hard line where this is fading into the sky area. There we go, not too hard of a line. Now I want to get rid of all those stop-start marks. I'll disturb some of those brush strokes with the pattern of the tree leaves. Now we've got to put the darker and lighter values within this. So simply grabbing some white into there now, just a little bit, because that blocking in we just put on, it's going to have three values. It's going to have the medium, light and a darker value. And this is just going to be the very tips of those trees we're going to highlight, okay? Just from about there to there, and then the rest of it will be that colour, and we'll have a darker bit coming down. So I haven't dried anything yet. I want to see if it's going to do what I want it to do. I just want some nice soft, see how it's sort of blending in a bit. It's a little bit rubbery dry, it's not 100% dry, but I want that nice and light on the edge there coming down into that first colour I put on there. So now I'm going to get rid of some of these dots there that you can see. Oh, get off there, you dog. There we go. Just getting rid of some of them so it can blend into that first colour. Now I'm going to mix up a darker colour now. Okay, just grabbing the burnt umber now. Grab quite a bit on some of that. Get over here. And we just want to do some of this at the bottom, blending it upwards. And just as an example, there might be a little bit here, you might be able to get a little bit of darkness in some of this as well, just to really add some detail.
You mean adding the bullshit effect, don't you, Ian?
Well, yes. But I want to get this darker colour now and pretty much tamper that up. like so, into that first colour from about there, not too far up, leaving some of that first colour. If you've lost some of the first colour, that's okay, we can just simply put it back. Nothing's been dried yet, only the sky before I started putting this on. Now just getting the white on the brush, starting at the very bottom and tape like I've done here, just tapering up till it disappears. Nothing's been dried again, it's just scrumbling in, making that lighter. So we've got distance between this lot and the next lot we put in front as it's showing in the reference picture. It's going to make sense.
I suppose, Ian, studying a picture you're going to paint from as a reference picture you're going to paint, I suppose it pays to study it a bit and analyse things and that like that. Is that, yeah, like that, Ian?
Yeah, that's a good idea, little buddy. Analyse things like you do in an exam. You sit and study and practice for your exam before you go and sit for it. Same principle as a painting. If you're using a reference, just take it, even if you take half a day to study it. I might put a little bit of dark back in here because I've lost a lot of it, just like that. See, I just grabbed some of the burnt umber and just killed a lot of that glaring white that was there, and then I'll feather it through out and about. Now I've done this, the colour's a bit distorted in this viewfinder, but it's quite alright on the painting. I'm going to add these bits along here in the painting next, this darker bit, and I've marked out where the brim of that tree's coming and the rough horizon line there. And I want to do that simply by looking at the reference. It looks very similar to my burnt umber and black colour, so I want to get most of that out of there and start mixing burnt umber and black together. So I'm going to start with the top again. So these trees are pretty much coming along. Now these have got mist between you and them, so there's no detail in these ones. Just creating the top canopy there, and it's going to come right off there. That's it, because you don't want it like this and then a hard line under it. That's what I'm trying to avoid, and that's what I'm trying to teach you in this video, not to get that happening if you're not aware of it abling to happen. I can start going solid and just block it in. Check out my community tab, hit the join button if you want to become a member of my YouTube channel. You'll receive badges, emojis and live shout outs and one-on-one video calls. You get a few perks there. Look at it, analyse it. After you've done everything, always give it an analyse. I can see little bits of there. I want to just sort of darken up a bit more, and that's it. Now grabbing some white, just what's in your brush. There we go, look, just what's in my brush was plenty. I just want to put, looking at the photo, I just want to put a little bit of glare where I can see out there. Coming down here and I can see bits of glare pocketing here. Get it right to the edge. And that's it. Play around with it. Now what I'm going to do is come from there, this stuff here, because I'm making this area where this other tree in front's going to come in front of it. I want to make this glary. So I'm getting everything off my brush pretty much all the way down here. Bringing it there and scrumbling it into here so it's like a glare. Because between this point and that tree in front, it's further away. There we go, get all this mixed out there. And there we go, we've got a lot of mist distance between you and there. Now what I want to do, before I put this tree in there, I want to set the water in, get that conditioned and painted till I'm happy with, so I can set the tree on it and then shadow it in. I'm simply going to use a flat brush, don't want it too wet, and I've just got some craft paint just to prime in the area, and then I'll mix up my colours. The water, which is going to be cerulean blue and some of the grey. So I want to this is just going to help those paints sit on the canvas beautifully. So we'll come along here, bomb it on, just painting the bottom area. I'm doing it left and right because that's the motion I want the water to be. So I'll grab my bullshit stick and I'll just get this line reasonably straight across here. So I'll edge it on there and just come straight across here, and I'll get a nice reasonable straight line against the horizon there. Oops, don't want a big, keep going till you're happy with it. There we go. Now we're simply going to add the colour of the water into that. So it's quite easy, quite fun, and when you know how to do it, you won't stop doing it. So wiping that brush, I've got me grey. The water's going to be grey, but it's got to have that blue tinge in it. So we're mixing up a blue grey, and we got the blue there, and we got the burnt umber to get some darker aspects into it. So about there. Now you can do this, look, I'll show you. Stamp it on and then sweep it in. Or you can just simply do what I'm doing, sweeping it in, because I'm going to get this value into there first, and then I'll put the darker and lighter bits in there. It's going to have lighter and darker values in it. Pushing it on, there we go. Pushing it on with the tip of the brush, there we go. Coming down, there we go, I've got that done. Now we're simply going to put the darker values, just putting some blue on that brush because I want something blue out here. So now with these bits, stamp them on, so we'll come all the way from there. We're going to get a band of blue here, probably about that fat, and maybe a little bit here. Just wipe the brush on anything and pull it. So I'm going to pull it. There we go, done. Right off the painting. There we go, done. That's a little bit too dark, so I'm going to keep playing with it till I'm happy with it. There we go, I'm happy with that. So grabbing some burnt umber, let's just get a little bit of black in there, not too much, just a littlest bit. You want it dark burnt umber. Now, against the bank, I know I've got some darker bits here, so they're going to radiate pretty much all the way here. And come along. So I'm stamping it on because, like I said, I can control this. And we want to get this like that. Getting those scallops in there. This is just blocking in, it's no detail. Pick up a bit more. I can see some other darker values. Maybe, just looking at the reference, getting an idea where some darker values are. Grab yourself another flat brush, pull that in. Bang, bang, bang. There we go, pull it in. It's not quite dark enough, so I'm putting a bit more black into that. Here we go, look at this. Same thing again, pull it. There we go, nice and straight, that's it. If you have it crooked, your painting will look crooked. And then where else do we look at the reference? I could see a dark band probably over here somewhere, so just indicate that in there as well. Something there, and little bits against the shore here, and then quickly get them waterfied. I call it waterfire, where you smudging it into the water. Look at that. Then simple whites, scallops of white, will add the sun glistening on your water or light reflecting on this paint that you mixed up here. Grey, blue, cerulean blue. Now white, we want to make this our white colour. We don't want pure white because it's just going to look wrong, but this will look white against the colours that are up there. Now I'm using a flat because I want to get these little ripples on the water like that, but not that fat. So to create that wind on top of the water, I might need a little bit more white. I just did a test on there and it was still too blue, so I'm just adjusting it until I'm happy with the flavour. So this colour here is going to be lots of ripples on top of the water into this brown. Nice and fine. Start from here. Not too big. Find that medium you're happy with to get the size you're looking for. And so just finishing off all these little scallops. You can see how it's just putting wind on top of your water and gives it that vibe of a good looking painting. Okay, I've got some, where are we? We've got some burnt umber, raw sienna and black. So I want to just map in the ground cover. I want to get a bit of burnt umber in there just to marble it up. It doesn't have to be fully mixed. And this is coming pretty much from here, but it's going to scallop into the edge of the water there, just like so. Just bits of the raw sienna and the burnt umber mixed together, but not fully mixed, just have it marbled.
What's marbled mean, Ian?
It means it's not fully mixed, it's marbly. You know, like when you have marble cake?
Oh, yeah, I like marble cake.
No, it's not marble cake, it's just marbly mixed. Now, grab some more of the paint and then start feathering out bits like that into the water, just a little bit where you can. So as it looks like some of it is underwater, some of it is out of the water. There we go. And then we've got to add our darks. So you got the black into the burnt umber there. We're just going to put some divots, scallops and lines and bits and bobs like this. It's very flat. And get some of the darkness out into the water there, just like so. Now there is a bit of a bank here, so I'll quickly get that in as well. The very darkest colour, which is about there, because the trees are going to take up the rest, so I've just used that black and burnt umber to block in that bit of bank there as well. And some of that raw sienna you want to bring over here, get your white and get a brighter value of that. Just on this area here, we just want some light hitting bits and bobs. I'm touching the top of the water there and letting the brush kind of naturefy itself there. Nice and scratchy, nice and scratchy. It's a lot lighter out here. I'm looking at the reference, grabbing some dark on the corner here and just deliberately putting some darker blobs like this, whether they're footprints or rocks or something like that, just distinct stuff breaking it up. put it on there, just about here. Because obviously that glare from the sky is coming down on that bit, and just kind of scratch that into it as well. Put the darks back if you destroyed too many. But I can see within the reference picture, this glare is sort of shining down onto the bank here, so I'm just emulating that as well. Just grabbing the colour we use for those divots out there, putting the wind on the water. I've just got a little bit of extra white in it, and I'm just putting some like water bits here against the shore, just to kind of give the illusion that this ground is falling down into that water there. Bring it out there a bit as well, and just gingerly do some bits like this. It's just water pulling it into there. I'll tell you what, the best thing you can do when you're doing a painting is have your iPhone, turn the camera on your iPhone and look at your painting through your camera lens. And it's the best way to analyse your progress as you're going along. That's how I feel. I discovered that with me filming actually, and I suppose anyone that films it would agree with that. If they don't, well,
They just simply don't.
and that gives it the effect of the water now hitting there instead of it just looking like it's floating. I'll probably get some, I've got to fix this side up later, but we've got some water nice and tiny on the water there, coming into there a little bit. Now we're going to fill in that big blank there now. I've got two brushes I want to use for that. Is once again my flat filbert and my deerfoot. I want to start blocking it in with the deerfoot and some perylene green. That's the really dark green. Mix up some dark green if you don't have perylene green. And I just simply want to map in the whole area first, leaving some sky windows. Look here, see the sky windows there, and in between here and some under here. It's important we get those there, so I'm going to start from here and then bring it up. And why I've got two brushes, I'm going to show you why. This brush here I find does quite good foliage. There we go, bang. I'm looking at the reference, just getting an idea of the shape of the trees. So there's pretty much one coming down here, stamping it on. And I'm just going to simply stamp this on so I get all that leafy action bit going on. And then the other brush that I showed you, why I've got that is because I want to be able to do some of this behaviour. Like, get some of that on there and just get some bits detailing right out there like that. Look at that, bit more maybe up there, join it down a little bit. This is really dark green, join it into that, and this is going to make some beautiful, quite happy, realistic type of foliage. Now I'm going to continue this first, so I'll get this going. Love this perylene green. A couple of people sent it to me. That was Teresa and Noreen. Thank you very much. You know who you are. Now where this green is just meeting that bit of a bank there, I've just grabbed a flat brush, just something I can dry blend and scrumble it into that brown there to create bits of shadow there. Okay, that's all I want to do there. Now I've given that a dry. I feel this is a distant tree there, and then this half is going to sort of come in front of it, then the ground shrubs here. So I want to highlight that. I've got the sap green, I'll get it a little bit wet. and some cadmium yellow, just a little bit, not too much, just enough to turn the lights on in there. So we'll get, you want this on the top of that dark colour, on the top of it. Where you're going to make your little pockets. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do something cheeky here. We're going to try and make this look so realistic, and I'll show you the best method a beginner can do to make their trees look realistic. First, we'll get all this just done where we want. Not over the whole darn lot of it, just periodically here and there. Coming in. And then we want to try and emulate bits of this bush coming this way, but leaving pocket black windows there. You'll see what I mean by the black windows. There's going to be some pockets of them. Turn your brush around, gently come in there like this, using this colour. Get some of this gingerly over there. I'm just going to look. I can't see any sticks and branches within the reference picture, so I'm not even going to put them in either. Some people might opt to do that, but I'm not going to worry about it. Try and control your stamped patterns so they're not too uniform. You want them to look like nature intended them to look. Some of this dancing on top of the water there. That's one half done. It's looking quite real. Now what you can do, I've got a fan brush, one of these ones that finger out. Grab your paint, make sure your brush is reasonably wet. Grab your paint, just flick the corner, flick it like this. Grab a little bit more yellow to highlight it now. Okay, wet it. Practice this procedure. This is a procedure to practice within itself. And my goodness, you can create some wonderful, what is it, little buddy?
Oh, yeah, wonderful bullshit.
That's it. You can create some great detail in your painting there. See, flick the corner, right? It's loaded up. And over here now, you can sort of get some leaves within all this stuff. Look at the reference and just kind of see where you feel all this behaviour is happening. Get it on the darker green so it'll stand out, and work out which way to stamp them on. And these little dots create the real detail within a tree. People will look at your painting and then go, I like that. You don't want it too loud. This could be a bit loud. I'm just looked in my monitor there, but it's very time consuming, but that's what great art is all about. A great painting didn't happen in 20 minutes or an hour. Bit sticking out here. With these little dots, you can even mute some of this colour.
What do you mean by muted, Ian?
Mint, make it mint looking green, like adding some white. So you notice I'm not doing everywhere. I've got big blank spots that I haven't done. It's creating the leaves, instead of being flat now, they can kind of look like they're coming at you. I'll show you just what adding the white would do to some of this. So you've got that on your brush, grab some over there, start flicking it this way. Now look, not too white, grab some of that other colour back, put it in there, flick it, dampen your brush a little bit more, not too much. There we go, that's a lot more muted, that's more mint. And within some of these you can probably work out where to put them. Put them in or out. Try and make shapes that look like they're covered up with shade or shadow, I don't know, just like I say, that's why you need to practice these procedures. And you can see just what the muted colour is doing. I'm going to put some of it out of here in the light over that. Not everywhere. Bring some of it into the dark. It's important, I feel. Okay, now we want to put this one kind of in front of that. Simply changing the colour. I've got that perylene green. I'm going to bring most of it over here. Wet the brush. You want enough to do the whole tree. And now we're going to add the yellow medium into this. You're going to get a different vibe of that green, because before we used the yellow and the sap green, now we're using the perylene green. It's going to be, well, I hope it's going to be different, yeah. Grab me Deerfoot, load her up, and then start doing some quick detailing. So I want to sort of up there. Come right there. Turn your brush, try and create nature looking vibes about it. Now don't have this too wet, just enough to get the stamping on there. And this is going to come in front of there. See, I've left some black there. And this is going to come down now, down to there. And after doing this, we simply add some detail leaves in this as well. And my goodness, work out where you want. We're going to have a ground shrub here, so just remember we want to create some darkness behind there. So I might do a band about here. There we go. Creating some darkness there, and you can sort of see what type of tree this is becoming. Now I'm going to go to my Gilbert, get some of this loaded up just on top of the dark, into this body here a little bit, not too much. How's that looking? Yes. And that little bit up the top there. Act like a monkey. Get to the top of your tree and come down. Okay. Now we're simply going to highlight that. I've washed my brush. I'm just loading it up lightly and then using that to govern how bright I want me highlight. So I want to get right up to the top here and bring that down and let it fade. There's another bit here. Just get to the top of that. A little bit here. Yeah, looking at it. I'm constantly going backwards and forwards to my monitor so I can just see where I'm needing these bits and bobs. Bit there. Now I want to bring this right over that other one. Right there. See, I'm pushing that one back. going beyond it a bit. Pushing it back right there we go. And this is a quick way to do beautiful big swampy island tree type of thing, whatever it may be. Now, so as that's not looking so wrong, grab the filbert brush, load that up with the same colour, even a little bit brighter if you want to, it's totally up to you, see how it looks. And gingerly highlight some of this stuff now, coming back into the body of tree there. Right on the top of that black, see? Now we detail this like we did the other one. Grabbing that fan brush again, loading the corner up, getting it wet enough to get this paint, flicking the corner of that fan brush so the corner of the brush is loaded. And I want to create, you know, like detail the very edge of this and just get bits of it coming back. There we go. Sitting that backward tree backwards. Okay, I can keep going with that till the cows come home, but I want to put the shrub in front of this now. And I'm just going to use that sap green that I got. I'll grab it in my brush and I want to highlight it with the yellow ochre. Now I just simply want to leave, remember where I smudged it? Well, I want to come from there and sort of push it up. Push it up. Push it up in front of there, push it up. Right over that dark bit there, right over here, right there, and coming up onto that bit you smudged up. Simply wipe the brush what's on there, grabbing some of the perylene green or even the black, whatever, just the darkest colour, the very darkest colour on your brush. And see this front bit, you want to just gingerly get that darker at the bottom like that, coming along a pocket there, getting it fanning up in there. There we go. Now we're simply going to highlight that bush. Now that colour you had, you want to get your cadmium yellow light and get that to the value we want to highlight all that bush. We'll bring that there. Okay, that's fine. Gingerly does it. Right into this dark. Come over that dark. Push that one down. Now that dark that we put on, you want to leave that bits in there. It's a totally different green. Come into that dark a little bit. We could probably put something there. I get this all the way over there and bring it down into that dark bit there. There we go. That looks like a different kind of a shrub. We even put something there if you want. Don't get carried away. Now we just want to detail that little bit of a bank. Burn umber and raw sienna. And I want to wipe what's on the brush off. Leaving the dark there, use this, come along the bank, scratch it in. Now that dark that I put there, you want to leave that there. And we're going to just gingerly get some of this in there and then highlight it as well. So where you got some white, let's grab some white, mix with some of this, not too much, just subtly. There we go. Wipe it off. Coming across that bank there. Another little trick you can do just to give it that sense of realism, grab some of the dark colour. I'm just going to grab the simple black on the corner of that brush, and see here, we'll just put some simple shadowy bits on there, just so it doesn't look floating. Bits of tree shadow there. Grab yourself a script liner. I've dipped it in black, and then I want to grab some white on there just to have it marbly. Anywhere here you might get away with the slightest bit of stick, stalk, trunk, whatever. Very thin, very thin. Probably something tucked in there. Trunks in here. Don't let it break. That one's coming up and he's maybe jostling up here. Nice thin branches here. Nice and thin. If it starts to break, dip your brush in water. Just under here, see all these scallops that we put on before? They were that light blue. I've added a slightest more white, and now I'm just highlighting some of those and just tracing some underneath that dark area there. Now just over here, I'm going to whack my signature on here, and then I'll autograph it, and then we'll whack a frame on it. And I want to thank everybody who follows me on YouTube here. Thank all my patrons that follow me every month, support me every month, and my members. Check out the links in the description below. Give me a comment. Okay, let's whack a frame on that. There we go. That's not too shabby, is it? Got a bit of a swamp, lake, trees, dusking sky over there. I know, you can do it. Well, I had a lot of fun doing that, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, stick around and watch the next one. Tell your friends if you like what I'm doing, but if you don't like what I'm doing, you tell everybody. Goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.